Hello grade 9s and welcome back to another video. In this practice video, we will practice how to factorize dots. Now what do I mean by dots? I simply mean the difference of two squares. The first problem reads, factorize x squared minus 4. Now grade 9s, it is so important that no matter what you're factorizing, you start off by checking for a highest common factor. In this expression, there is no highest common factor for us to take out, and therefore we can move on and check if we have a difference of two squares. We start off by looking for a difference. Now what do I mean by difference? I simply mean a minus sign, and between the two terms in this expression, we do in fact have a negative sign. We then check to see if we have two perfect squares. So we start off with the first term, x squared, and we remember we can obtain x squared by saying x to the power of 2. So x squared is a perfect square. We then look at the second term, which is 4, and we remember that we can obtain 4 by saying 2 to the power of 2, and therefore 4 is also a perfect square. We therefore do have a difference of two squares, and we can factorize this expression by using the method that we use whenever we have a difference of two squares. We write out two brackets, one with a plus sign in it and the other with a minus sign. The order does not matter. We then look at the first term and remember that the square root of x squared is x. We write that down as the first term in each bracket. Then we remember that the square root of 4 is 2, and we write this down as the last term in each bracket. And having done so, we have found the answer to this problem. Grade 9s, if ever you want to check if your answer is correct, you can always do the opposite of factorizing, which is to simplify. And if you end up with the expression in the question, you know that you've done the problem or factorized correctly. The next problem reads, factorize 2y to the power of 3 minus 50y. Remember, highest common factor first, and in this expression we do have a highest common factor. Between the coefficients 2 and 50, the highest common factor is 2. Y is a common variable, and its lowest exponent is 1. So 2y is the highest common factor. We need to take this out. In other words, we divide each term by the highest common factor. And what we are left with, we write in brackets. 2y to the power of 3 divided by the highest common factor is y squared. Negative 50y divided by 2y, which is the highest common factor, leaves us with negative 25. Now that we've taken out the highest common factor, we can look for a difference of two squares. Do we have a difference? Yes, we do. Is the first term a perfect square? Yes, it is. How about the second term? Yes, it's 5 to the power of 2. So we start off, please, by writing out the highest common factor. Don't leave that. It's part of the factorization. It's part of the first expression that was given to us in the problem. Then for our difference of two squares, we write out two brackets, one with a plus sign and one with a minus sign. The first term in each bracket is y, because y times y gives us y squared, the first term that we started off with. And the second term in each bracket is 5, because positive 5 times negative 5 will leave us with negative 25. And having written this down, we have solved this problem. I really like this problem because it makes you think a bit further than the other problems do. It says factorize 16x to the power of 4 minus 1. Fortunately, there is no highest common factor, so phew, we can move on and we can check for the difference of two squares. There's definitely a difference. The first term, 16x to the power of 4, looks a little bit funny, but we can get 16 by saying 4 squared, and we can get x to the power of 4 by saying x squared squared. So that is in fact a square. We can obtain 1 by saying 1 squared. So both of these terms are squares, and we can therefore factorize by making use of the method we've learned. We write down two brackets, a plus sign in the one and a minus in the other. The first term in each bracket will be 4x to the power of 2. and the second term in each bracket, or last term in each bracket, is 1. Now you might want to stop here. Do not stop. Look at the problem to see if you can factorize further. The second bracket contains a minus sign and 2 terms, so maybe we have another difference of 2 squares. We can obtain 4x to the power of 2 by saying 2x squared. And we can obtain 1 by saying 1 squared. So here we again have the difference of 2 squares. We first start off by writing down the first bracket. Even though we've done nothing to it, it is part of the factorized version of the expression that has been given to us. Then we write out our 2 brackets, plus sign in the one and minus in the other. In the first place in each bracket, we write down 2x because 2x is what you obtain when you take the square root of 4x squared. And in the last place in each bracket, we write down 1 and 1. Now, always check your answer to see if you can factorize further. We do have a minus sign in the last bracket, but the 2 terms are not squares. We have therefore completed this problem. Grade 9s, well done for making it so far. You have reached the last problem in this video. This problem says factorize x plus y squared minus 9. Very important, we check for highest common factor and we are so happy because there is no highest common factor here. We can now move on to the difference of 2 squares. Is there a difference of 2 squares here? Well, the first term, the whole term is actually x plus y squared. The last term is 9, and in between those 2 terms, we do have a negative sign. Then we check the first term. It looks a bit strange, but if you look at the entire brackets or the entire expression contained in the brackets, you'll notice there's a square on it. This means that this term is a square. We then look at the second term. It is 9, and we can obtain 9 by saying 3 to the power of 2. So 9 is a perfect square, or you can simply refer to it as a square. Now we can factorize by writing out 2 brackets, one with a plus sign and the other with a minus sign. If you take the square root of that first term, you will end up with x plus y. If you take the square root of 9, you'll end up with 3. So we write this out as the first term in each bracket and the last term in each bracket. You are more than welcome to remove the brackets that are inside the bigger brackets. And we then end up with the answer to this problem, which is first bracket x plus y plus 3, and in the second bracket x plus y minus 3. Grade 9s, I really enjoyed making this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching it, and I look forward to you joining me in the next video. Remember to practice using the worksheets on the Junior Turkey website, and remember there's a memo on the website too, so you can mark your answers as soon as you've completed the worksheet.